Hi friends, my name is Nandita. I am from Andhra Pradesh.
Good morning dear students. In this section you will learn about ecosystem. Children, the word ecosystem is coined by A.G. Tinsley in 1935. This ecosystem has variety of life such as flora and fauna. Now let us see the definition of ecosystem. Ecosystem is defined as interaction between the organism and the environment, or else we can say living community of plants and animals in or together with non-living components of environment such as soil, water and air together consists the ecosystem. Ecosystem has largest functional unit of ecology which comprises with biotic communities mutually related with their non-living or a abiotic environment. Now let us discuss the types of ecosystem. Ecosystem is divided into three types based on their size, based on their duration, again based on their nature. So come to the based on their nature, this ecosystem divides into natural ecosystem and man-made or artificial ecosystem. Come to the natural ecosystem, terrestrial ecosystem, forest, grassland, desert, etc. are comes under the natural ecosystem. And aquatic ecosystem, marine, seas, ocean, etc. freshwater, ponds, rivers, lakes, streams comes under the natural ecosystem. Come to the man-made ecosystem. Man-made ecosystem, aquariums, crop fields, flower beds, etc. Now let us discuss the ecosystem are based on the duration. Based on the duration, again ecosystem undergoes for temporary and permanent. Temporary ecosystems are rainfields, ponds, laboratories, cultural or microbes, etc. Permanent ecosystems are forest and lakes, etc. Based on the size, small or micro or large or macro. Small or micro comes under the flower pots, logs, bushes, etc. Large or micro ecosystem comes under desert and oceans. In this section, we will discuss about natural and artificial. Now, before going to discuss about terrestrial, let us discuss about components of ecosystem. An ecosystem consists of two main components that are abiotic or non-living components and inorganic substance, organic components, climatic factors. Come to biotic or living components. Autotrophs or producers, heterotrophs or consumers, decomposers or separate tribes are involved in this ecosystem. Terrestrial ecosystem is an ecosystem found only on landforms. There are 6 types of primary terrestrial ecosystems exist. These are called tundra, taiga, temperate, deciduous forest, tropical rainforest, grassland and desert ecosystem. A community of organisms and their environment that occurs on the land masses of continents and islands. These ecosystems have low availability of water, great temperature fluctuations, and availability of high light is greater. The atmosphere is more transparent in nature and availability of grasses. Now let us discuss about forest ecosystem. Forest consists not only living things components like trees, animals, plants and other living things but also of non-living abiotic components such as soil, water and landforms. All of these components together make up a forest ecosystem. Grassland ecosystem. A grassland ecosystem is an where the vegetation is dominated by grasses and other herbaceous means non-woody plants. It is also called transitional landscape because grassland ecosystem are dominated by the grass with few or no trees in the area where there is not enough for a forest and not too much of a forest. Desert ecosystem. Deserts are the areas of land that are arid or dry and get less than 10 inches of rain per year. These areas can be covered by sand, rock, snow, and even ice. Additionally, they do not have a lot of plant life covering the land. Desert ecosystems covers approximately 25 to 30% of the land on the earth. Now let us discuss about Tundra ecosystem. These ecosystems are treeless regions found in the Arctic on the top of the mountains where the climate is cold and windy and rainfall is scant. Short seasons for the growth and reproductions. During summer season, the present layer tundra soil thus allow plants and organisms to survive. Now let us discuss about tropical rainforest ecosystem. The tropical rainforest biome has main four characteristics with very high annual rainfall, high average temperatures, nutrients are present very poor in the soil and high levels of biodiversity. The word rainforest implies that these all are the sum of the world's wettest ecosystems. The tropical rainforest is a hot, moist biome where it rains all year long. It is known for its dense of vegetation that forms three different layers. They climb trees in the canopy to reach for sunlight. The middle layer or understory is made up of vines, small trees, ferns, and plants. Now let us discuss the food chain in terrestrial ecosystem. A food chain is a linear sequence of organisms through which nutrients and energy passes from one organism eats another. Food web consists of many interconnected food chains and are more realistic representation of consumption relationships in ecosystem. The terrestrial food web links creatures on land from the intest microbes in the soil to a large mammal of the forest. Ecologists study the connections between herbivores, scavengers, and decomposers. An ecosystem usually has different types of food webs. A grazing food web based on the photosynthesis or plants algae, along with detrital food web based on decomposers such as fungi. Let us discuss how do humans affect the terrestrial ecosystem. Human activities are significantly and rapidly alternating the form and function of terrestrial ecosystem. For example, we are changing the chemical composition of the atmosphere, converting them into natural landscapes to urban areas, and transporting flora and faunal species far beyond the natural boundaries. Now let us discuss about freshwater ecosystem. Freshwater ecosystem are the subset of earth aquatic system. They includes lakes, ponds, rivers, streams, springs, bogs and wetlands. They can be constructed with marine ecosystem with a larger salt content. Now let us discuss what is the importance of freshwater ecosystem. Freshwater ecosystems play a fundamental ecological role and provide economically important products and services. They provide critical habits of a large number of aquatic plants, fishes, reptiles, birds and mammals. They host many migratory and threatened species of birds, reptiles and fish. Freshwater may include water in ice sheets, water ice caps, glaciers, icebergs, bogs, ponds, lakes, rivers, streams, and even underground water are also comes under the freshwater ecosystem. Now let us discuss about marine ecosystem. Marine ecosystem is the largest of earth aquatic ecosystem and are distinguished by water that have a high salt content. Marine ecosystem includes near shoes system such as salt marshes, mud flats, seagrass, meadows, mangroves, rocky interradial systems and coral reefs. Let us discuss the importance of marine ecosystem. Healthy marine ecosystems are important for society since they provide services including food security, feed for livestock, raw material for medicines, building material from coral rock and sand, and natural defenses against hazards such as coastal erosion and inundation. Let us discuss the examples of a marine ecosystem. An example of marine ecosystem is a coral reef with its associated with marine life, including fish and sea turtles and the rocks and sand found in that area. The ocean covers 71% of the planet, so marine ecosystems make up most of the earth. Now let us discuss about the food chain in marine ecosystem. Phytoplankton and algae forms the basis of aquatic food webs. They are eaten by primary consumers like zooplankton, small fish and crustaceans. Primary consumers are in turn eaten by fish, small sharks, corals and by baleen waves. Top ocean predators including large fishes, jellyfish, dolphins, toothed whales are large seals. Humans consume aquatic life from every section of this food web. Now let us discuss how do humans affect freshwater ecosystems. Humans can have a major impact on freshwater system through water overuse. Reducing the amount of water in lakes and other reservoirs puts pressure on the aquatic population, reducing the amount of living space available, and in some cases it dries up streams and ponds entirely. Now let us discuss the functions of ecosystem. The producers, the green plants fix radiant energy and with the help of minerals take from their xeric means soil where they grow or aerial environment and build up complex organic matter. These are their food, so with the help of solar energy they converted the chemical energy of the food to kinetic energy and finally heat energy. The animals eat up the plants and other animals has food. So the energy is transferred through the food to animals. When the plants and animals die, then decomposers like certain bacteria and fungi act on their bodies and decomposes them into simple materials like carbon dioxide, water and other minerals which go back to the air, water bodies and soil from where they were again taken. Let us discuss the process of functioning of the ecosystem. The carbon dioxide from air, water and minerals from water bodies and soil are again taken up by green plants along with solar energy to make their food. This process is repeated again and again and this leads to continuation functioning of the ecosystem. Energy flow through the ecosystem. The transfer of energy and matters takes place in the process of predator and prey relationship in a food chain. The original source of energy is the energy from the sun. Out of the enormous amount of energy continuously radiated by the sun, most of it is reflected or refracted by the atmosphere, earth surface and objects like plants. Only a very few small fractions, about 1% of the solar energy received back by the plants is used through the process of photosynthesis. Now let us discuss the importance of ecosystem. We know that no living organisms can live in isolation. We cannot survive without producers in nature. So, all living beings depend on other living beings in the biological community. Not only they are depending on one another, but also each of them exists in a certain proportions. This creates a complete balance in nature of most living organisms. This is the evident from the study of food chains which operate between living organisms. Now let us discuss about the ecological balance in nature. The balance between the living beings and also with the non-living environment is called the ecological balance, or simply a balance in nature. Unfortunately, however, human activities have upset the ecological balance in nature, so it is more essential that balance in nature should be established soon, because it is an essential for our own existence. Now let us discuss about conservation of plants. The following steps are to be followed for the conservation of plants. First, diversion of forest lands for other purposes have to be prevented. Next, reckless cutting of forests need to be checked out, and steps have to be taken to stop shifting practices of cultivation. Next, forest fire is another cause of forest depletion which needs to be controlled effectively, and afforestation has to be taken up effectively. Conservation of wildlife. It is believed that the forest destruction is not checked, then there it is a fear that many birds and mammals may become extinct. They must be controlled. Our ruthless hunting. A suitable law was to be made against it. National parks, biosphere reservoirs, and geological parks are to be set up to safeguard the lives of wild animals and birds. And conservation of ecosystem. These are the points to be followed for the conservation of ecosystems. Forests are important components of our environment, so rapid destruction of this important resource is a cause of concern. Afforestation, preventing reckless cutting of trees and making everyone aware of the need to conserve it, will help the forest conservation. Nature enjoys ecological balance only if the relative number of species is not disturbed. So, conservation of wildlife is important for the future. National parks, wildlife sanctuaries, and biosphere reservoirs are established to protect and conserve wildlife. Such measures would be ensure that the wildlife does not become extinct. Conservation of aquatic life would be ensured by removal of industries nearby the water bodies. Creating awareness. Awareness about ecosystem conservation can be done by posters, competition about ecosystem conservation, arranging TV programs and websites related to ecosystem. Finally, I conclude that the atmosphere, the earth, the water, and the water cycle, those things are good gifts. The ecosystem, the ecosphere, those are good gifts. We have to regard them as a gift because we could not make them. We have to regard them as good gift because we could not live without them, according to Windbell Berry.